they're in the west coast, and that dates back to the 7th century BC. So this is the time, for example, where our ancestors already mastered the techniques of metallurgy of ferrous and non-ferrous metals. Ancient Kazakhs were masters in smelting all kinds of ferrous metals like copper. They made all different kinds of alloys, bronze, etc., etc. And of course, they were great artists in terms of working with the metal. You saw the species of replicas of the ancient gold, and they pertain and go to the so-called animalistic style. This is the pre-Christian and pre-Islamic tradition in Kazakhstan, which is very strong until today. You may notice the colors of Kazakhstan. It's a blue flag. Although we are a Muslim country, by traditional thought we are a Muslim country, so traditionally we should have a green flag, the color of Islam. But we carry the blue flag. In the center of the blue flag we have a golden sun, and underneath the sun we have a free-flying eagle. These are the ancient symbols of Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan, as I said, comes from ancient history and our ancestors, including Attila the Hun. You heard Attila the Hun. So maybe in Western Europe people do not like Attila the Hun, but we are proud of him. He's our great ancestor, and he really influenced the evolution and great changes in Europe. And Attila the Hun was, by the way, one of the contributors to the collapse of the already ruining Roman Empire. And that has encouraged the further growth and evolution within Europe and emergence of different other nations, etc., etc. So, if you let me speak, I will speak for hours and hours. One thing you should know about Kazakhs is that we come from the oral culture. Our culture is, particularly oral culture, is very strong. We survive on legends. We cherish legends. We cherish nice stories. And therefore, when I go to any audience, I tell them that I'm Kazakh and we are from oral culture. Therefore, they should stop me because I can talk incessantly. Because I'm so proud of my country. Because I'm in such a love with my country that I can talk hours and hours about the beauties of our nature, about the depth of our history, about the diversity of our culture. Kazakhstan is also at the crossroads of different movements of people. Very much like the United States, Kazakhstan is the melting pot. We have more than 100 ethnic groups in Kazakhstan, and we have more than 40 people representing more than 40 religious denominations. We have Muslims, we have Christians of all shades. We have Jews, we have Buddhists, and we have Krishnas, etc., etc. So this is a very diverse society, and ethnically we are very diverse. And this is one commonality which strikes anyone who visits Kazakhstan and the United States. Kazakhstan is a model state. We have been able to achieve many things in a short period of our young, recently obtained independence. The 20th century was the period of us being part of the former Soviet Union. You heard a lot about the former Soviet Union because that was the evil force, and through the textbooks at schools and universities you may have heard a lot about the evil empire, but we were part of that evil empire, and this is part of our history, and this is where our parents come from. Therefore, we do not want to paint black our history. We take it as it is. And of course, there were lots of shortcomings, particularly when it comes to Kazakhstan. So many ugly social experiments have been carried out on our territory. The Gulag system, the collectivization through which, for example, more than 2 million ethnic Kazakhs died. They all happened in Kazakhstan. The ugly nuclear testing, this also happened in Kazakhstan. But fortunately, we also had bright pages in our history. Yuri Gagarin, the first cosmonaut, was ventured into the outer space from Kazakhstan, from the space base in Kazakhstan. Although I learned, we had recently in Columbia University 2 days ago, our famous poet who wrote a famous poem, "The earth do bow down to the man, to a man when the Yuri Gagarin flew into space in 1961, and he came and he was touring around the world with his poem. He was surprised to learn that in American textbooks, in America people know very little about Gagarin, and they believe that the first man who went into space was from America, when in fact it is not true. So the history of Kazakhstan, both ancient and modern, is very diverse and vast. While recognizing and respecting the diversity of our history, diversity of our past, diversity of our culture, we also would like to cherish our future. We have very ambitious plans. Kazakhstan is maybe a success story of the splits of the former Soviet Union. We are successful economically, we are successful politically and socially. Not a single drop of blood was shed in the years of independence in Kazakhstan on ethnic or religious grounds, although we were surrounded by hotbeds all around Kazakhstan: Chechnya, Afghanistan, smaller Central Asian countries, Western China, etc., etc. We managed to focus ourselves on the growth. We managed to focus ourselves on the well-being of people. There are lots of misperceptions about Kazakhstan. One is that we are a dictatorship, that we do not like democracy, etc., etc. I invite you to visit Kazakhstan and see for yourselves what type of a society we are. I particularly like Greg Violetta. I was very pleased to learn that there was an evolution within DC here from a club. What was the name of the club?
It's called Decades.
Decades. Then it went into the young professionals. Now it is TTD, things to do in DC. And I particularly liked that you welcome smiles and open hearts between your members. So this is exactly what we have in Kazakhstan. We like people smiling. We like people being open to each other. We like people trying to understand each other, engaging with each other. I also like that you like to travel. Therefore, I like the raised hands of this audience when you asked about who wants to go to Kazakhstan. You're most welcome. Someone asked me already about the visas to Kazakhstan. Our visa regime is one of the liberal regimes, so it's a very quick and fast and problem-free service. Unlike, by the way, I also answered to a gentleman that if you compare, for example, the American visa process, it's sky and earth, you know. Therefore, you are most welcome to Kazakhstan. We have provided to you some books, some literature about Kazakhstan. Please do read it, particularly those who were able to catch the Apples from Kazakhstan book. That's a very fascinating read by a British author.